$3.9 billion. That's how much richer Donald Trump has gotten since walking back into the White House. Not over a career, not over a lifetime, in about 16 months. And a huge chunk of that came from a single year alone. A sitting president reporting over $1.4 billion in crypto income from ventures that only exist because he's sitting in the Oval Office right now. By the end of this video, you're going to know exactly where every one of those dollars came from. The meme coin, the family crypto empire, the stock trades, the side businesses, and who got left holding the bag while the family cashed out. This isn't a takedown. It's not a defense. It's the receipts, straight from the government's own filing. Let's get into it. The headline number. Let's start with the big picture. Back in 2024, Forbes estimated Donald Trump's net worth at $2.4 billion. Fast forward to April 2026, about 16 months into his second term, and that number had climbed to $6.3 billion. That's nearly triple in a year and a half. And thanks to his newly released 2025 financial disclosure, filed with the US Office of Government Ethics, we now know almost exactly where that money came from. The crypto empire. So let's talk crypto, because this is where the real money is. Start with the meme coin. Trump reported $635 million in royalties, tied to what his own filing calls celebration coins. That's the Trump token, run through a company called CIC Digital LLC, and launched just days before his second inauguration. Then there's World Liberty Financial, the crypto venture he co-founded with his sons. Token sales there brought in somewhere between $515 and $550 million.
Donald Trump's crypto projects has now raised $550 million after completing its second token sale.
On top of that, selling off equity in the company's holding structure added another $65 million. And separately, he reported $80 million from legal settlements with media companies, ABC, CBS, Meta, and YouTube among them, with some of that money funneled toward his presidential library. Throw in another $52 million from licensing the Trump name to overseas real estate developers, mostly in the Middle East, and you're looking at more than $1.4 billion in crypto and related income made in a single calendar year by a man who is simultaneously running the country. Now, here's the part that makes this sting a little more. While the family was cashing out at that scale, regular people who bought into that same meme coin were having a very different experience. Blockchain analytics firm Chainalysis looked at roughly 2 million wallets that purchased the Trump token and found that just 58 of them made more than $10 million each, a combined $1.1 billion in profit. Meanwhile, about 764,000 wallets, mostly small everyday holders, ended up in the red. The coin itself has fallen more than 90% from its peak. So this isn't just the president made money, it's a small circle of insiders and family members profiting enormously, while hundreds of thousands of ordinary buyers who got in on the hype ended up eating the loss. And it's genuinely a family operation. World Liberty Financial lists Eric Trump and Donald Trump Jr. as Web3 ambassadors, and Barron Trump, who's 19, as the company's official DeFi visionary. By late 2025, Forbes was estimating each of the three sons' personal stakes in the company at more than $133 million apiece. It gets more interesting when you look at who's actually funding this thing. 4 days before Trump's second inauguration, an Abu Dhabi investment fund tied to a senior UAE royal bought a 49% stake in World Liberty Financial for $500 million, a deal that sent roughly $187 million directly to entities controlled by the Trump family. 2 months later, the administration approved a major export of advanced AI chips to the UAE, reversing a block the previous administration had put in place over national security concerns. Nobody has proven those two things are connected, but the timeline alone was enough for the Senate's Permanent Subcommittee on Investigations to open a formal probe into who actually owns this coin and how the money flows. And the family footprint doesn't stop there. Son-in-law Jared Kushner's investment firm, Affinity Partners, disclosed more than $6 billion in assets under management, with about 99% of that coming from foreign investors, overwhelmingly Saudi Arabia, the UAE, and Qatar. At the same time, Kushner has been serving as an unpaid but highly active diplomatic negotiator in that exact region, helping broker the Gaza ceasefire. When asked about the overlap, he's described his deep regional relationships as an asset that helped get deals done, not a conflict of interest. The old-fashioned money, still flowing. Now, crypto isn't even the whole story. Trump's traditional business empire kept humming right alongside it. His disclosure shows more than $290 million from golf and club properties alone, including Mar-a-Lago, Bedminster, and his DC golf club. Add to that stock holdings spread across hundreds of individual companies, managed through accounts reportedly executing thousands of trades in a single quarter this year, including positions in Nvidia, whose chip exports to China-adjacent markets loosened up around that same period. His team's explanation is that he doesn't personally manage any of it, that professional advisors handle the trading, and any gains simply reflect a market that's been good to everyone with a retirement account, not just him. That's a fair point on the surface, but unlike several past presidents, these assets sit in a trust that Trump and his sons control directly, not an independently run blind trust with zero family involvement. The constitutional wrinkle. All of this runs straight into something called the Emoluments Clause. Actually, two clauses in the Constitution, written specifically to stop federal officials, including the president, from personally profiting off foreign governments or the US Treasury beyond their official salary. Multiple lawsuits over the years have argued Trump's business dealings cross that exact line, going back to hotel payments in his first term, and now extending to these crypto deals. None of them have produced a definitive Supreme Court ruling forcing him to divest, largely because courts keep getting hung up on who even has legal standing to sue in the first place. So legally, this remains genuinely unresolved. Not a slam dunk for either side of the argument. Why this actually matters to you. Here's the part that touches people who've never bought a single crypto coin. Major crypto legislation, like the Genius Act, was signed into law during this exact window, loosening the rules for the very industry the president's family was actively profiting from. Everyday investors are now putting money into a market shaped by people who had a direct financial stake in exactly how loose those rules turned out to be. It also sets a template going forward. Whatever you think of Trump personally, the precedent now exists that a sitting president can run active, for-profit ventures with foreign investors while holding office. That's a door future presidents of any party now know is wide open. So here's where it all lands. Almost none of this appears to be clearly illegal, and most of it is sitting right there in public filings for anyone willing to read them. But legal and normal are not the same thing, and the gap between the $1.1 billion made by 58 insider wallets and the losses absorbed by 764,000 everyday buyers is the kind of number that's hard to just scroll past. Let me know where you land on this in the comments. I read every one of them. And if breakdowns like this are useful to you, hit subscribe, because these disclosures get updated every year, and this story is nowhere close to finished.